The Ivy League, yes, the group of nerds said that we will not have sports this fall. They become the first conference to say that they are canceling sports for the fall semester. Now, there was a report that came out that said they won't make a decision until January 1. Robin Harris, the executive director of the Ivy League, was just on Golic and Wingo with Golic Jr. and Jason Fitzmagic, and she was talking about the entire thing, and she said that is not accurate. Like, what the January 1st date is not accurate. We will continue to read and see what's going on. She was then asked if a vaccine is needed for her to, and she says she has no idea. She's just going off of what campus policies are, basically. So a lot of these Ivy League campuses, I guess you're only allowed 25 people in a certain area. You're only allowed so many people in a dorm. Some professors aren't even allowed to go back. There's only a certain amount of people allowed back on campus, and they view the student athletes as students first, which makes sense because being a student is what's going to make most of these people, almost all of these people, money, as opposed to being an athlete, which is very different than every other conference that exists in the world. But they are the first sports conference that has come out and said, hey, we are not going to have football this fall. We will not have sports this fall. And we will make a decision later on down the road as things continue to unfold. She was then asked, have you spoke to other conference commissioners and what's their take, basically? And she said that her and the other commissioners have been on regular calls for the last couple of months trying to figure out and everything. And she said that this is going to be a case-by-case basis depending on what the campus's rules are in each conference. She did not allude to the fact at all that since the Ivy League is canceling this fall, that any other conference is also deciding to cancel. It seems as if this is very much going to be a school-by-school campus rule rollout on who's going to play, who's not going to play. And boy, we're going to learn very, very, very quickly what schools are very motivated by sports in the fall and what sports are not, because I think there's going to be some schools that say, no, we're not going to do sports. It's not worth it because these are our campus rules. You can't have this person here, can't do that, can't have this many people in a place. We don't care how much money it makes. We don't care how awesome it is for our school, how many more people maybe enroll in this school, how much nicer our classes are. We don't care about any of that. We care about the safety of the student. And then whenever one school says we care about the safety of our students, and then another school says, no, we're coming back because we can do this is what our campus is doing, then what happens in the future? Well, whenever you're recruiting, you got to remember that this school wanted to kill somebody, this school didn't. I mean, it's just one big circus that's going to go round and round. And I think college football, and I don't like being a negative guy. I'm not a negative guy. I feel like I'm a rather positive guy. Yeah. There's some things I'm negative about. Cream cheese, sour cream, hate them, get them the hell away from me. Did a little wedding tasting yesterday. There was some sour cream and some cream cheese that showed up in some things. I'll tell you what, they're going to make it because I'm selfless enough to know that it's not just me eating at the wedding, but boy, I almost vomited right in front of an executive chef's face yesterday. So there are some things that I am very negative about, but I feel like I'm rather positive. College football, I don't know how it's going to happen because you have people that don't give a damn about football or don't give a damn about whatever other sports are in the. That was very sad for me to not know a single other sport that happens in the fall on college campuses.
Field hockey.
Okay, there we go.
Volleyball.
Does it?
Feels like a
so I'm not the only one. Thank you. Okay, so there's big question marks in here, but there's people on these campuses that will be soccer. Is it in the fall?
That might be in the spring.
That's what I'm saying.
It was at Duquesne, so I figured.
Okay, but. Yeah, I think it's in the fall. Soccer, West Virginia is in the fall too. Because if I was going to play it, that would have been a hilarious schedule. Would not have been where I'm at if I was to do it. And I don't know if I would have ever gotten in good enough shape to play, to be honest. A lot of puking in those days. Win or lose, McAfee still runs with spring training rules, and that was a little bit of a bum. But it feels like people who aren't just football minded and business of football minded, they're going to be making these decisions, whether the football people like it or not. In the NFL, you got football and you got the business of football that are going to be driving the return to football. So they're going to bend over backwards however they can to make sure that the NFL comes back because it's business and it's football, and that's all they care about. With the NCAA and college football, you got a lot of people that don't give a damn about sports, don't give a damn about football, that they are there to enrich and hopefully further educate students that choose to come to the university. They're going to be making admissions people. You got campus health folks, presidents of presidents of schools. You got a lot of people that aren't just the athletic director and the head coach of a team making decisions there. And I think that is why it's going to be very difficult to get college football back, because you got a lot of people that are like, no, not going to do it. Yeah, but when we sell like 120,000 tickets and we make a lot of money in those little classrooms that you have, they get much nicer whenever we do it. Yeah, but am I going to die because of that? I'm out. There's going to be so much discourse, I think, between those. In the college world, there's a lot more opportunity for that as opposed to the NFL. NFL, and the Ivy League becomes first school to officially make it happen. And I'm not going to say that it feels like that's going to happen everywhere else, but boy, I feel like there's going to be some conversations from some people that don't care about sports with people that really live with sports and say, hey, it's not just about you right now. There's a lot of other decisions that have to be made at Tone-Dix City Field.
Yeah, I agree 100% that like the people that are making the decisions may not care about football, but I do think they care about like the bottom line. And if they don't play football, they're gonna have to do like what Stanford did and cancel 11 sports. Like they're just like those things just are never gonna exist at their university again. So maybe they'll look at the bottom line and be like, well, yeah, we could get sick, but also we make a lot of money.
No. I think the people that look at the bottom line, by the way, are normally the sports people and normally like maybe the president. But you have all those other people that, I don't want to say grandstand, but it does feel as if there's a potential chance here for somebody to stand up and say, I am going to be safer than everybody else and look out for everybody else. Not that they're wrong, by the way. In grandstanding would allege that they're wrong. I don't mean that, but I'm saying they'll come out and be like, no, we can't do this for this. And I think there is going to be quite a conversation that takes place. Ask Ty Schmidt, who got accepted into Harvard, chose not to go to Harvard because he wanted to play baseball in Iowa. So very standard operation. Now you're working here. Who knows what happens if you go to Harvard and don't play baseball in Iowa?
Probably would have failed out. But.
Yeah, probably. I'd assume. But you know what you wouldn't be doing this fall? Playing any sports or saying hi to anybody because it feels like their campuses are going to be locked down for real.
I'm sure they don't have anything in place yet, but how do you think this will affect recruiting? Like if an entire, like let's say, someone goes to wherever an SEC school and they decide to cancel that whole incoming class, do you think they would potentially be able to get released from their scholarships to go play elsewhere?
And what about the seniors, right? And the red shirt seniors, because there's like a gray shirt, a blue shirt, a red shirt. There's all these shirts that you could potentially get. There's like if you're ineligible but you get eligible shirt, then there's like an injury shirt, and then there's a red shirt whenever they just choose to sit you out. So like I had a friend who hit every single shirt, and he could have been a doctor by the end of his time at West Virginia. I think he was there for like 7-8 years. I wonder if there's going to be a suspension shirt that you could put on somebody instead of the red shirt. Like, hey, since the season was suspended here, you get another year of eligibility. I just don't know how you handle all of that, but it feels like those are things that I would assume people are already talking about. Like, how do we do this with seniors, red shirt seniors? They don't have another year of eligibility. Who knows if they can go to the NFL or anything else? Do they come back for another year? Then what do we have? We have potentially 7 classes all in 7 classes of students all in one locker room. Can we even facilitate a whole extra class like that if we had to? There's a lot of things that, and then let alone if the social distancing rules in the locker rooms maintain and those only grow. I mean, this is just a little bit of the tip of the iceberg, the Ivy League. Now, granted, it's the smartest one with the least amount of professional athletes, but I think that is one that that's just showcasing a little bit of probably the conversations that are happening behind the scenes that are like, I don't know if we're going to be able to make this happen.
Yeah, because spring sports from this last year, I know, got an extra year of eligibility, but none of them
nailed it. Hey,
that'd be tough.
Nailed it.
Come on, Tony.
But none of them have 25 incoming players like football does or something like that.
So I don't know how any of that works.
Do you think it's going to be like a domino situation where like one fairly like big school says, hey, we're not doing it this year, and then you'll see just a bunch of other schools follow suit?
Ohio State paused their voluntary workouts, and they are not releasing the number of tests that came back positive that they gave out. HIPAA, dude. They care about the HIPAA law.
Yeah.
No, but anytime that happens, like anytime somebody goes, I plead to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. It's like, oh, that guy's guilty. Okay. Whenever Ohio State's like, well, we're not going to release the test results and we're pausing voluntary workouts, it's like, oh, that must have been a yodely
Every
situation.
single student athlete you have has COVID.
But that's what
that's what you're saying.
At Boston Connor, alluding to some things, reading between the lines, he says, but with those cool glasses, dude.
Hey, cool glasses.
Well, I don't have any on, but you do.
Well, I see them on your table. Cool glasses.
They're right here,
there.
yeah. Good call. But with those cool glasses, you were able to read through the lines there, and you think that just every human potentially in Ohio State's campus right now has COVID-19?
Yeah, I think that if you want college football to happen this year, then you should take a nap till 2022 because it's not coming back.
Whoa. We don't need your tie-dye wearing wolf shirt ass right now, bringing that type of gloom and doom to everybody. Lion! Okay, I don't think that's accurate either. And Robin Harris was asked by Fitzmagic on ESPN if the thought of having a spring season is something because that's now the thought is like, okay, if college football doesn't happen during the fall, move it to the spring, maybe a shortened season, like 8 games, maybe 10 games, figure it out. Then you go into fall again and we're back in the world. And you start doing the math, and that's only like and I say only because it's a lot larger than a normal college football, but if they were to go through the spring session and fall, it'd be like 20 games. If they do 8 games, 10, 9 games or something, like 21 games. That's an NFL season, right? So the people, they're going to come out and say, well, that's an incredibly long season with not a lot of turnover. I agree, because it's very different for college football. That is not how the whole thing goes and everything like that. But it is not unheard of to do that amount of games in a, 8-month period or 9-month period or whatever. But it feels like behind closed doors, there's some people probably taking a lot of vitamins trying to figure out how the hell we get this season in. And can we? If we don't, how do we move forward? But nobody knows, dude.